that this bill passes 10-0 to move on to environmental safety and toxics. We will go ahead and also now bring up, while we have people, AB 1947, and I'll entertain a motion for that. This bill would be due pass. The motion would be due pass to appropriations. Anyone willing to make a motion on this bill at this point? AB 1947. So we have a motion and a second. A roll call vote, please.
Wood?
Aye.
Wood, aye. Mainshine?
Aye.
Mainshine, aye. Bonilla? Burke? Aye. Burke, aye. Campos? Chu?
Aye.
Chu, aye. DeBobne? Gomez? Aye. Gomez, aye. Hernandez? Lackey?
Aye.
Lackey, aye. Nazarian? Olson? Aye. Olson, aye. Patterson? Ridley Thomas?
Aye.
Ridley Thomas, aye. Rodriguez? Aye. Rodriguez, aye. Santiago? Steinnorth? Thurmond? Waldron? Waldron not voting.
So that's 9-0. You need one more. We'll leave that one on call, and we'll put the consent calendar before members.
Thank you, colleagues.
So consent calendar is moved in second. That would be AB 1703 Santiago and AB 2279 Cooley. So roll call on that, please.
Wood?
Aye.
Wood, aye. Mainshine?
Aye.
Mainshine, aye. Bonilla? Burke? Aye. Burke, aye. Campos? Chu? Aye. Chu, aye. DeBobne? Gomez? Aye. Gomez, aye. Hernandez? Lackey? Aye. Lackey, aye. Nazarian? Olson? Aye. Olson, aye. Patterson? Ridley Thomas? Aye. Ridley Thomas, aye. Rodriguez? Aye. Rodriguez, aye. Santiago? Steinnorth? Thurmond? Waldron? Aye. Waldron, aye. 10-0.
So consent calendar passes 10-0. Next up will be Ms. Gonzalez. AB 2053.
Good afternoon, Chair.
As you wish, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Chair and members. AB 2053 allows community health centers to operate multiple facilities under one license when those facilities...
Motion and second.
Thank you. This is a common sense approach to ensuring that clinics that are right next to each other can operate under one license, and communities like mine that rely heavily or exclusively on health clinics need this in order to expand in a productive and quick way. With me, I have Ben Avery from the California Primary Care Association to share more on the need for the bill. Keep it quick.
Ben Avey with California Primary Care Association. I'll just say that this bill did come from our members to address real-world problems with a very simple solution, and we respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Any other witnesses in support?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. Gregory Kramer on behalf of Planned Parenthood Affiliates of California in support.
Okay.
Gary Passmore, Congress of California Seniors, in support.
Okay, thank you. Any witnesses in opposition? Seeing none, questions of the committee? Did you accept our technical amendments? I'm sorry.
I'm sure I did.
Would you like
Yes,
to?
I would love to accept your technical amendments.
Thank you. Just made my day. I appreciate that. So,
Anytime, Chairwood.
So, and I did have a question. Do we have someone here from the Department of Public Health?
Good afternoon. Cheryl Gordon from the Department of Public Health.
Great.
Greg Pruden from the Department of Public Health.
Great. Thank you. My question is, it appears there's no statewide policy on how to approach requests for program flexibility with regard to licensing clinics. So in some regions, local DPH offices are allowing consolidated licenses with buildings on separate sites. Others are not. So according to DPH, program flexibility requests are unique and considered on a case-by-case basis by each district office. Can you explain why that is?
Well, actually, the fact that a program flexibility was allowed, that flex statute presents a training issue for us. Under the separation of powers doctrine, the State Department only has the authority to authorize program flexibility of regulations that implement the statute. We don't have authority to flex the statute unless it's explicitly stated in the statute to give us that authority.
So we have a policy, but not the ability to implement it.
No, we have a policy on issuing program flexibility, but our authority to issue program flexibility is only to flex a regulation. It's not, we do not have the authority to flex statutes. And the licensure requirements are in the statute. They are not in the regulations. So the fact that one of our district offices authorized consolidated license presents a training issue for us.
I'm sorry, that just doesn't make sense to me. It still seems inconsistent in its application.
It's inconsistent because it presents a training issue in that we don't have the authority to issue a program flexibility when one was granted.
And any suggestions on how to get
granted
around? Any suggestions on how to get around that training issue?
Yeah, we need to train them that our authority to grant a program flexibility approval only exists when granting flex for Title 22 regulations. Otherwise, we are not authorized to flex licensing requirements that are spelled out in the statute.
Well, you lose flexibility there a lot, and it doesn't sound like there's any flexibility. I'm confused. I don't understand.
I think she's suggesting, and I'm sorry if I think she's suggesting they were inappropriately granted this flexibility from multiple counties, by the way, in the past. We are now going to make sure they can grant it everywhere in the future. So she says that the ones that had, am I right, the ones that had been granted were a mistake.
Correct.
We're going to make it clear by passing this bill, hopefully.
We need this bill to grant you the authority that we thought we already had.
If you want us to have the authority to flex statute.
Which we thought we already existed. So that's why the purpose of the bill, my understanding. So we have to do another bill to create something that should be already in existence.
Mm-hmm. The department does not have the authority to flex statute. Unless it's explicitly stated in the statute to give us that authority.
Well, I guess that may happen then,
okay.
if the committee approves that. Seems pretty inconsistent. So my comment. So, would you like to close?
I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. The motion will be due passed to as amended. Thank you, Madam Gonzalez, for that. To appropriations. So please take the roll.
Wood?
Aye.
Wood, aye. Mainshine? Aye. Mainshine, aye. Bonilla? Burke? Burke, aye. Campos? Chu? DeBobne? Aye. DeBobne, aye. Gomez? Aye. Gomez, aye. Hernandez? Lackey? Aye. Lackey, aye. Nazarian? Olson? Aye. Olson, aye. Patterson? Aye. Patterson, aye. Ridley Thomas? Aye. Ridley Thomas, aye. Rodriguez? Aye. Rodriguez, aye. Santiago? Steinorth? Aye. Steinorth, aye. Thurmond? Waldron? Aye. Waldron, aye. Your measure passes to appropriations. Thank you, Madam Gonzalez.
Thank you.
We'll move on. Seeing nobody else out there, we'll go to Mr. Lackey. Are you ready to go, Mr. Lackey?
Pardon me?
Would you be ready to go?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, you already did that. I didn't see Mr. Conley. I guess he was. Where am I trying to go? Where did I go? Too many papers. Otherwise.
Well, Chair and members, I'm proud to present to you AB 2341. I love it.
Please proceed.
Was there a second? Second. This is a really good bill. And I have somebody here that's going to validate any hesitation you might have, Mr. Jed Hampton.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Jed Hampton. I'm the Director of Policy for Health Services at Leading Age California, and we're the proud sponsors of AB 2341. Leading Age California represents more than 400 not-for-profit providers of affordable senior housing, residential care facilities for the elderly, continuing care retirement communities, and skilled nursing facilities throughout the state. Leading Age California members serve the needs of approximately 100,000 seniors throughout the state. First of all, I would like to thank the author's office and the committee staff for the tremendous amount of work that they put into this bill. As the author noted, AB 2341 would allow skilled nursing facilities to seek approval from the department to bring additional services into the community, thereby providing residents with greater access to a broader array of services and care coordination. Currently, skilled nursing facilities must provide required services in order to be licensed. Additionally, there are other special services for which a health facility may seek licensure, and these services include physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech pathology, audiology, social work services, and special treatment program services. Our members believe that allowing skilled nursing facilities to seek approval from the department to provide additional services would be particularly impactful and beneficial for the residents that we serve, who often require being transported out of the community to receive necessary healthcare services, or for those residents who reside in rural areas of the state where many of those services may be scarce. There are numerous safeguards in the bill to ensure that the services being provided meet the stringent standards for the scope of service, policies and procedures, staffing, space requirements, equipment, and supplies. Furthermore, the burden of proof of the sufficiency of the proposed standards is on the provider, and the department has the complete discretion as to whether they are sufficient. It is important to note that the department always has the authority to deny an application for optional services using the proposed process established under AB 2341. Once again, we would like to thank the author and just again mention that with the aging of the baby boomers, there will be a significant increase in the number of individuals who do require long-term services and supports. And many of those individuals will require skilled nursing care. The large increase in the aging population will test the limits of our constantly changing healthcare delivery system, and we believe that skilled nursing facilities that offer additional services would better be able to serve the residents, more effectively partner with healthcare providers, and provide improved care coordination throughout the continuum of care. We strongly support these efforts, and we respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Okay. Any other witnesses in support? Anyone in the public in support? Anybody in opposition? Anybody? No one in the public in opposition either. Okay. We'll bring back to the committee for questions. My first question, Mr. Lack, I'll ask first question. Are you accepting our amendments?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Thank you for working with me on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other questions from the committee? We have a motion and a second. We'll go ahead. We did have a motion. And Mr. Tyler. Yeah. Okay, so we have motion and second. A roll call. This is the due pass as amended to appropriations.
Wood?
Aye.
Wood, aye. Mainshine? Aye. Mainshine, aye. Bonilla? Burke? Campos? Chu? Tababne? Tababne, aye. Gomez? Aye. Gomez, aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hernandez, aye. Lackey?
Aye.
Lackey, aye. Nazarian? Olson? Patterson? Patterson, aye. Ridley Thomas? Aye. Ridley Thomas, aye. Rodriguez? Aye. Rodriguez, aye. Santiago? Steinорth? Aye. Steinorth, aye. Thurmond? Waldron? Aye. Waldron, aye.
Motion passes 11-0. You're on to appropriations, Mr. Lackey. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Seeing no other members present, pardon? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Linder. I'm sorry, Mr. Linder. My apologies. You just kind of blended into the crowd there, so you need a louder tie or something. Come on, man. All right, Mr. Linder, before us, AB 2636.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I'm glad to be back again asking for your support. An important piece of legislation that will help update California's antiquated request system for vital records. California is lagging far beyond other states when it comes to issuing copies of vital records. The Little Hoover Commission identified this problem in its 2015 report, stating that the process to obtain vital records in California can be overly complicated, time-consuming, and paper-heavy. Well, with that, I will introduce Faith Conley, representing California State Association of Counties, Jolena Voorhis, representing the Urban Counties Caucus, Greg Circo, Vice President of VitalCheck.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Faith Conley with the California State Association of Counties. We are a co-sponsor of the bill. As the author stated, our current process for processing the online request for vital records is woefully out of date with current technology as well as nationwide efforts in the privacy arena. The current process also makes it difficult for populations like the military, members of the military, as well as our homeless populations. The notarization process adds another $20 onto the cost of requesting your vital records. Along with that comes a lot longer mailing times to get your vital records. I want to stress AB 2636 will not require counties to offer this online ability to the residents. It merely allows for an opt-in process. With that, I will hand it off to our expert in the arena, but with that, I support the bill.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, my name is Greg Circo. I'm Vice President of VitalCheck. We do business with state and local health departments around the country, and I've spent the last 23 years working with vital statistics agencies around the country to help them create more efficient ways to do business while at the same time recognizing how our society is changing, particularly with respect to people needing to get certified copies of birth and death records remotely. California is one of only 2 states in the country that has a process that requires somebody, even if they want to order online, to after they order online actually go find a notary, pay a notary, have a notary notarize their name and their signature, and have to in turn send that off to the Vital Records office to process. It's very inefficient for the consumer. It's very inefficient for the agency. Today, actually 40 today, vital record agencies in the United States of the 57 jurisdictions use the type of approach that's suggested in this bill as the best methodology to help ensure the security of the vital records, but also to help create efficiencies in the entire process of ordering those records. It's also recommended by the National Association for Public Health Statistics and Information Systems, which is the industry group to which all of these individuals belong, and they set policy for vital records organizations throughout the country. I'm here really to just let you know how most of the nation is doing it today and how that type of an approach has been growing and growing, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you.
Hi, Kelly Hitt on behalf of the Computing Technology Industry Association. We're in support. Thank you.
Juliana Voris here on behalf of the Urban Counties of California, co-sponsor, and urge your strong support for the bill. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Others in support? Just name an organization, please.
Matthew Seiberling on behalf of the California Association of Clerks and Election Officials in support. Thank you.
Ed Behrens on behalf of the County of Los Angeles in support.
Andrew Langley on behalf of the Riverside County Board of Supervisors in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nicole Wertelman on behalf of the San Bernardino Board of Supervisors in support.
Thank you.
Michelle Gibbons with the County Health Executives Association of California. We represent the local health departments throughout our state, and we're in support.
Great, thank you.
Jamie Price with TechNet in support.
Thank you. Anyone in opposition, please come forward. Need to make some room for these folks here.
Samantha Corbin on behalf of Privacy Rights Clearinghouse in opposition to this bill, as we have been to similar previous measures for all of the same reasons. Certainly we understand the convenience that this would afford, but we believe without additional security measures required in the law that this would open consumers up to significant losses of vital personal information. There's also no reporting mechanism in this measure, no way for consumers, if their information was compromised, to report back to a county that there was a problem. And so for those reasons, we continue to be opposed to the bill. Thank you.
Becca Kramer, ACLU of California. We too continue to be opposed to the bill. However, we have offered some amendments that would move us to neutral, and those are in our letter. I can expand on those if you would like, but just like Privacy Rights Clearinghouse, we believe that as written, this bill does not strike an appropriate balance and jeopardizes the privacy and of Californians and puts them at higher risk of identity theft. And for those reasons, we're opposed unless amended.
Thank you. Anyone else in opposition? Seeing no one, we will go ahead and bring this back to the committee for questions.
Question, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Ridley Thomas.
So what happened? You introduced this last year, right? The earlier part of this session, no?
That is correct.
What happened to that bill?
The bill was held on suspense, and I was...
This in the Assembly?
Yeah, in the Assembly.
Okay.
And it's our understanding that with the cooperation of the Appropriations Chair, that this would... it was actually the Chair at the time's recommendation that we bring it back, and we did it as he wished.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Other questions, concerns? Mr. Dababneh.
I'm actually very proud to co-author this bill. I also sit on the Privacy Committee. You know, more and more we're seeing that our constituents want to have an option to do these types of transactions, in this case request a vital record from their county government. In other cases, we've seen a demand for buying insurance products with a digital signature on their smartphone. We see more and more a generational shift where more of our constituents not only find this to be an easier way to access information, in this case vital records, but also they find it more safe and secure. Clearly, we're going to take this up in the consumer protection side of it in the Privacy and Tech Committee next after this. But I will say that I think the opposition is a little bit misguided in their sense of the security for constituents. We have put a lot of thought into this bill. We've worked with opposition. I really applaud my co-author on this, and I will tell you, every time I do a town hall, every time I do any kind of local coffee in my district, one of the first questions I get asked is how can you make local government more responsive and more in line with what the private sector is already doing when it comes to obtaining not only information but services. We lag far behind in our local government and in our state government in offering a smarter, safer, more technology in terms of the services we're offering. That's why I authored a bill last year to do a digital driver's license. We heard many of the same arguments. I truly believe, though, it's not a matter of if, but when. We should be on the right side of this issue. We should be making sure that California, with Silicon Valley in our backyard, remains a tech leader in the services we offer to the public. And I appreciate the author and look forward to voting for this today and in the next committee.
Okay. Any other comments? I'd just like to add a couple of things. First of all, you know, certainly I think this is better than when it was seen before. I think there may be some language that could be strengthened, and I would encourage you to work with some of the folks on who are opposing this to do that. A question and concern to me would be, how do you deal with how do consumers report back to counties when there is a breach? And so I think you need to be considering that. This is the first stop on this. This is going to privacy and consumer protection. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and let you close.
Well, thank you to the committee, and obviously privacy and security is going to be number one concern, and we will continue to make sure that this is going to be top of the line privacy, make sure that it is as secure as possible. To elaborate on the question from my colleague from Los Angeles over there, I was just kind of came to me that the last year in the Appropriations Committee, the reason why it was held was because they wanted it to go to privacy. So this bill, as reintroduced, has that opportunity to do so. It's been referred there next, and with that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote and thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Linder. We do have a motion in a second, so we'll go ahead and ask the Secretary to call the roll. This is to do pass to privacy and consumer protection.
Wood?
Aye.
Wood, aye. Mainshine?
Aye.
Mainshine, aye. Bonilla? Burke? Campos? Chu? Dababneh?
Aye.
Dababneh, aye. Gomez? Hernandez?
Aye.
Hernandez, aye. Lackey?
Aye.
Lackey, aye. Nazarian?
Aye.
Nazarian, aye. Olson? Aye. Olson, aye. Patterson? Patterson, aye. Ridley Thomas? Aye. Ridley Thomas, aye. Rodriguez? Aye. Rodriguez, aye. Santiago? Aye. Santiago, aye. Steinnorth? Steinnorth, aye. Thurmond? Waldron? Aye. Waldron, aye.
13-0. You're on to privacy and consumer protection. Thank you, Mr. Linder.
Thank you.
I don't see Mr. Nazarian. Would you be ready to present? Thank you, Mr. Nazarian.